What happens when the most recognizable building in a city stops being just a symbol and starts becoming part of the city's reinvention? In Jacksonville, that question is taking shape in 2026 as the Bank of America Tower undergoes a multi-million-dollar renovation designed to modernize not only the building itself, but the entire experience surrounding it. For decades, the tower has dominated Jacksonville's skyline, standing as the tallest structure in the city and one of the most recognizable landmarks in downtown. It has long represented Jacksonville's ambitions as a business and financial center. But now, the conversation is shifting. This is no longer just about architecture or height. It is about how downtown Jacksonville evolves in an era where office buildings must function differently than they did in the past. At first glance, renovating an office tower might not seem transformational, but when you look at what is actually being planned, upgraded amenity spaces, enhanced tenant experiences, and renewed focus on activating the surrounding street environment, the project begins to look much larger than a simple modernization effort. Across the country, commercial real estate owners are being forced to rethink how office buildings operate. Remote work, hybrid schedules, and changing employee expectations have altered what companies want from physical office environments. Businesses are no longer searching only for square footage. They are looking for spaces that encourage collaboration, improve employee experience, and help attract talent back into physical workplaces. That shift has fueled one of the biggest trends in modern office redevelopment: amenity-driven environments. The plans for the Bank of America Tower reflect exactly that. Updated amenity floors, hospitality-style gathering areas, fitness spaces, collaborative lounges, and social environments are all part of the effort to reposition the building for modern tenants. The idea is to create an office experience that extends beyond desks and conference rooms. Employees are increasingly looking for convenience, wellness features, and environments that feel more connected to lifestyle than traditional corporate setups. Premium office towers now compete not only on location, but on experience. For Jacksonville, this matters because downtown's future depends heavily on maintaining strong commercial occupancy while simultaneously creating more activity at street level. And that street level activation may be the most important part of the entire project. One of the longstanding challenges facing downtown Jacksonville has been the lack of consistent pedestrian energy outside of normal business hours. Large office towers can create dense daytime populations, but if workers leave immediately after work, surrounding businesses struggle to maintain momentum into the evening. Restaurants, retail shops, and entertainment venues all depend on sustained foot traffic. The renovation plans tied to the tower aim to help address that issue by creating stronger connections between the building and the streets around it. The concept of streetlife revival is critical because successful downtown districts rely on visible activity at ground level. Outdoor seating, walkable corridors, active storefronts, and gathering spaces all contribute to an environment that feels vibrant rather than transactional. When workers stay downtown longer, grabbing dinner, meeting friends, attending events, or simply spending more time in the area, it creates economic energy that extends far beyond a single building. That is where projects like this begin generating ripple effects. Modernized office towers attract higher quality tenants. Those tenants bring employees. Employees support nearby restaurants, coffee shops, bars, and service businesses. As that activity grows, additional businesses become more willing to invest nearby. Over time, reinvestment in a major office tower can help strengthen the broader ecosystem of downtown itself. There is also an important perception shift happening through projects like this. In many cities across the country, downtown office districts have faced uncertainty following changes in workplace behavior. Some urban cores have struggled with vacancy, declining pedestrian activity, and reduced demand for commercial space. Jacksonville's approach appears to be moving in a different direction. Rather than retreating from downtown or allowing major buildings to age without adaptation, ownership groups are actively reinvesting in them to compete within the modern market. That sends a strong message to both investors and tenants. It reinforces the idea that downtown Jacksonville remains a place worth committing to long term. The involvement of major commercial real estate organizations like CBRE further highlights the seriousness of the investment. Firms operating at that level analyze demographic trends, tenant demand, and long-term economic conditions carefully before supporting major redevelopment efforts. Their participation reflects confidence not only in the tower itself, but in Jacksonville's broader trajectory. Timing also plays a major role in why this project matters. Downtown Jacksonville is already experiencing momentum from several interconnected initiatives. Riverfront redevelopment projects, long-term stadium district planning, New residential construction and infrastructure improvements are all contributing to the city's evolving urban core. The renovation of the Bank of America Tower fits directly into that larger narrative. When multiple projects move forward at the same time, momentum becomes more visible. Residents begin to feel that change is happening. Developers become more confident in future investment opportunities. Businesses start viewing downtown differently. The combined effect of several coordinated improvements is much stronger than isolated projects occurring independently. Another critical layer to this conversation is talent attraction. Cities increasingly compete not only for businesses, but also for skilled workers. Younger professionals, in particular, often prioritize walkability, entertainment access, dining options, and lifestyle amenities when evaluating where they want to work and live. Companies understand this. Modern office environments are now part of recruitment and retention strategies. By upgrading the Bank of America Tower and encouraging stronger street-level activity around it, Jacksonville becomes more competitive in attracting both employers and workforce talent. That matters because talent drives economic growth. Cities that attract skilled professionals tend to experience stronger business formation, higher incomes, and increased demand for housing and services. There is also architectural significance in preserving and modernizing landmark structures rather than replacing them. The Bank of America Tower is not simply another office building. It is one of the defining features of Jacksonville's skyline and a recognizable part of the city's identity. Maintaining its relevance helps preserve that visual identity while adapting it to modern needs. Instead of becoming a symbol of an outdated office era, the tower is being repositioned as part of Jacksonville's future. That balance between preservation and modernization is becoming increasingly important in urban redevelopment efforts across the country. Cities that successfully evolve often do so by adapting existing landmarks instead of erasing them entirely. From a real estate perspective, projects like this can influence surrounding development patterns in meaningful ways. Stronger office environments and increased pedestrian activity make nearby areas more attractive for residential and mixed-use development. Developers tend to follow visible momentum. When they see major reinvestment in iconic properties, it often encourages additional projects nearby. Over time, these patterns can reshape how entire districts function and feel.
Ultimately, the success of downtown Jacksonville's transformation will depend on consistency. One renovated office tower alone will not redefine an urban core, but when combined with residential growth, entertainment expansion, riverfront activation, and infrastructure investment, it becomes part of a much larger shift. The Bank of America Tower renovation represents more than construction or cosmetic upgrades. It represents confidence that downtown Jacksonville can remain competitive in a changing commercial environment, confidence that people still want to gather, work, and spend time in urban districts, confidence that investing in public-facing spaces and street-level activity can create stronger momentum for surrounding businesses, and confidence that Jacksonville's skyline still has an important role to play in shaping the city's future. For years, the tower has stood above downtown as a visual landmark visible from nearly every angle of the city. Now, through this renovation, it may become something more significant, a symbol of Jacksonville's broader effort to reinvent and reactivate its urban core for the next generation. If these plans succeed, the impact will extend beyond upgraded interiors or modernized amenities. The tower could help reshape how people experience downtown itself, not simply as a business district, but as a place where work, lifestyle, entertainment, and community begin to intersect in a much more connected way. And in a city that has spent years discussing downtown's potential, projects like this may represent the clearest sign yet that Jacksonville is actively building toward that future, rather than simply talking about it. I'm Luke Christmas, and it's always Christmas when you work with Christmas Homes.